Dick never, in the course of the picture, got a budget. He never got a schedule. He was constantly told that he was over schedule, way over budget, but nobody told him what that budget was or how much he was over that budget. And at one point he said, why don't you just schedule the rest of the film for 2 days and I'll be 9 months over.
One of the dilemmas involved in negative pickups generally is that if there is an overrun, it's the producer's problem. If the costs exceed the budget, it's not the studio's problem. It's the producer's problem.
As the Salkins saw they needed more and more money, Warner Brothers, who was originally just going to distribute the film and put up a certain amount of money, as Warner started to see the rushes and like what they saw, Warner's got to be more and more involved financially.
Salkins could not have been easy producers to have. They seemed to be spending a tremendous amount of time horse trading with Warner's to try to get more money so they could actually pay the bills to get the 2 movies shot.
Dick kept the problems between him and the Salkins from us as much as possible, but we all at that point had opinions, prejudices.
It was a lonely period, it was a long period, it was tiring, it was exhausting. But I had taken on the project of making Superman, and damn it, nothing was going to stop me.
He was under a great deal of stress, too, because for whatever reasons, the producers either wanted him to hurry up or do better, or whatever producers want.
Donner, he must have been exhausted. I was a young guy. Donner was a young guy as well, but he was in his late 40s at that time. I was in my late 20s. And now I know, having directed some movies myself, what the exhaustion of shooting a movie, let alone trying to cope with 5 units. And absolutely, as Dick, this was the great opportunity of his life. This was I mean, I know he felt this was like manna from heaven to have such a subject which he felt he was perfect for. So Donner was taking all this pressure. He was coming into the rushes in the morning and looking at with me, but there were 5 units. So some mornings I would have 3 hours of rushes, maybe. So it became a real log jam. I just didn't realize under what real pressure he was under.
Mr. Salkind was, with it all, a very smart man. And he came from a family of very well-known producers. I don't think he or his son or Spengler, one of their producers, all these people, I don't think they had any concept of what the film would be. As far as I'm concerned, their sole interest was, how do we make it cheaper? And we would come up with these ideas, but it would be an important idea that you had to be able to execute here. I'd say, go, do it, and then they would say no, but my people would go, and this went on for a million things.
God rest his soul, my father, Alexander Salkind, was breathing very hard on my neck. And I would go on the set, I would just stand there to, you know, put more pressure. But it was horrible.
It got so bad, I couldn't talk to them. I couldn't stand the sight of them, quite honestly. And I just, you know, stay away from me. Stay off the goddamn set.
I'm sure I came up with the idea there, that I said, well, why don't we hire Lester, who we have a very good friendship with Musketeers, and actually I think we even considered him at one point to direct it. Because he will be like another producer, and being a director, okay, let's face the worst. If everything really goes bad, perhaps he can take over.
As Dick and the Salkins were really kind of at each other's throats, Dick Lester was brought in as a go-between, and my theory was they were clearly waiting for Dick to either quit or to get so obstreperous that they were going to fire him, and then Dick Lester was going to take over. But Dick stuck it through.
He came on the set one day and he said, Dick, he introduced me, I said, listen, he said, I'm here to be a go-between. Nothing more than if you have something to say to them, say it to me and I'll tell them. If they have something to say to you, they'll tell me. He said, I'll help you any way I can if you need me. I said, look, I don't need you in the process of making the film, but that's great because I really don't want to be involved with these people.
But it made for an uncomfortable situation, obviously more uncomfortable for Dick than anybody. Knowing that a director, especially one of Richard Lester's quality, was sitting there, but nobody knew if Alexander Salkind was going to fire Dick Donner, and then where were they going to be?
It must have been a blow to him, because essentially what it was a sort of Damocles hanging over his head that he could be fired, because directors can be fired. Don't forget, this isn't a studio picture, this is run by the Salkinds.
Donner protected us from a lot. And he was an actor, and he knows that that's not something you pass on. So we knew this was going on in the background, and you couldn't miss that there was tension between the Salkins and Pierre Spengler and everybody else. I mean, everybody else. It wasn't just Donner.